Welcome to I Love My HBCU ? The podcast where we express our undeniable love for HBCUs, but where we are also not afraid to address a few tough questions. So, sit back, learn a little, love a lot, and rep your HBCU. Hello, everyone. We know I'm Tosin, and this is I Love My HBCU ? I feel like I know Hunter intimately now. Okay, I'm not going to put you on blast, Hunter, but we've been at this. We know each other a little bit more than we should at this moment. Hunter Waldon is my guest. He is Mr. Prairie View A&M University, as well as Mr. HBCU. Hunter, thank you for being my guest today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and get this interview done. Yes,
So the way he just said, get it done, the quick backstory, I promised I wasn't going to put him on blast, and I'm not going to. But the quick backstory is that Hunter is an extremely busy young gentleman, and, busy as college students go. And we've been trying to get this done for a little bit now, and it's something he's wanted to do. So I'm excited for us to dig into the conversation. You wear a lot of hats, Hunter. You are a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated. You are Mr. Prairie View A&M University, like I mentioned earlier. You are Mr. HBCU. You are graduating this semester. You're doing a lot. You're doing a lot.
Yeah.
Tell us, I think it's unfair for you. I was going to ask you, tell us the one of those roles that you love the most.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's fair, but could you tell us which one you enjoy the most?
I feel like the state that I'm in now, I don't really put anything in more enjoyable over the other. But I will say the one I prioritize the most is being a student. Because at the end of the day, I came here to get a degree. And yes, I have obtained many hats, but it doesn't take away from the number one prioritization being getting my degree. So I definitely invest the most of my time into being a student and into the 21 hours that I'm currently taking.
So I started off by saying it's an unfair question to ask you, right?
Yes.
And can I tell you, you answered like a true politician or a true campaign manager. And I happen to know that there are a number of the roles that you hold that you've had to be a good campaigner in order to actually gain the role. So of course, you answered that perfectly by saying that the one you prioritize the most is you being a student. So kudos on you. I'm focusing on your student hat. You are a business major, accounting specifically. What do you plan on doing as an accounting major?
So, I think one thing that's so stressful about being a student right now is that I already have everything planned out and set up. So after I graduate undergrad in May, fingers crossed, I'll stay another year and graduate with my master's next summer. And then fall of 25, I'll be working as an auditor for Deloitte and Touche LLP.
Okay. Not only do you have a plan, you have a plan with focus in your plan. And kudos to you. I really do wish that all of those things happen. And even if they don't, that the best things happen according to what your plan is supposed to be. So that's my wish for you. For those who don't know, and I'm actually new to this as well, so I've been at HBCUs pretty much all my life. I am at an HBCU as a professor and a dean for the Honors College at Morgan State University. So I'm fully aware of kings and queens at each of our campuses. What I'm not aware of is the Mr. HBCU title. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yes. So the Mr. HBCU conference and competition is held annually, and I am the 20th. But it's a great experience for all HBCU kings. And it's like whether you walk away with the title or not, I can really say that each and every king walked away with something that they could take home to their campus, whether that's leadership tips to pour into the next generations, or just sanity on how to get through their reign and properly pass that crown off to the next king. It works wonders. At the conference, we go out into different schools and the communities, and we just work with the different students, and then we have different seminars that allows us to build that bond in between each other. Because one thing that it seems like it's just second nature to know, but like you don't even realize it till you get in that room that all of us are really going through some of the same things. And so to be able to bond, to be able to connect, it really was able to show me and the rest of my brother kings why we are just that brother kings, and emphasis on the brother. But in the actual role within itself, I am responsible for all 107 HBCUs, specifically the kings of each HBCUs. Just making sure that if they need anything from me, I'm there. I have travel vouchers where I'm able to travel and execute my platform of just giving back to each and every community, and ultimately just spreading the awareness of the crown within itself of being Mr. HBCU.
Hunter, thanks again. Thanks. I'm ignorant to the Mr. HBCU conference and pageant. I am. So thanks for breaking that down for me. As you were talking and as you fondly used the term brother kings, what I heard was a building on a budding network. And I don't think so. You are accounting in
Yes,
at Morgan State University. Accounting majors are part of the School of Business,
yes,
and the School of Business, all of our majors, I believe, but I think I can speak for the School of Business, teaches a lot about your network being your net
the word.
worth.
Yes, ma'am.
And the net worth not just being money, the net worth meaning your increased value system and your increased value proposition.
Amen.
So I want to assume that that's the same with accounting and business at Prairie View A&M University. What I
Yes.
heard as I listened to you talk about the Mr. HBCU conference and pageant is a network, and a
Mm-hmm.
network, hopefully, of strong men, because I do know that a lot of our HBCUs are diverse, which means that it is likely that some of them may not always have Black kings in those roles. So I'm just going to say strong men as a network that you can always tap into. How important is your growing network, Hunter? Because I've heard you talk about different groups that you're involved in.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I want you to lean in on this, especially as a student, a lot of students find it difficult to build their network. A lot
Right.
of students find it challenging to network. How
Right.
important has growing your network been?
Well, I'll say three really main things in relation to that. One, the reiteration of how you said your network, your network is your net worth. Two, interning with Deloitte, I was able to learn that in this world we live in, it's adamant to really understand it's not what you know, it's not who you know, it's who knows you and why do they know you.
Why
Uh,
do they know you?
yes, yes. And then thirdly, which kind of like correlates to the first two sayings, but a network can provide something that no monetary value can come close to. And I've truly been able to really understand that and see that within my 4 years at my university, because it truly does take a village. You can't do anything by yourself. There's literally no successful person that's gotten to the top and been able to say, I literally did this all by myself. Nobody helped me with anything. And I feel like that kind of leads me into mentorship in a sense, because with being an accounting major, I am a part of the organization NABA, which formerly stood as National Association of Black Accountants. Now it's just NABA. But they also had a motto that is very dear to my heart, which says "Lift as we climb."
Hmm.
Um, so just making sure that knowing how vital it is to have that right network and to continue to pour into the next generations as you continue to succeed, because that's what the generations before you have done with you. Just making sure that you're not only utilizing all the resources that are around you, but putting yourself in a position where you can have that next generation utilize you as a resource and other individuals similar to you. So
You could teach a master class, couldn't you? That was good. That was good. And what I love, if you've been tuning into I Love My HBCU question mark, you know that we have HBCU now, that's Hunter, and then we have HBCU Made, and that's our alum who have walked these halls of HBCUs. And I always take gems from each and every guest. And I know, especially with alum, I try to get them to speak on things that the current students might gain from. What I love about having the hunters on this episode or on this podcast is you are living it in real time and are beginning to cherish and value the lessons along the way. That how do other students that are your cohort and colleagues not hear you and say, he's me and
yeah,
he's telling me this is something I should be paying attention to, not these old heads like Dr. Tosin telling us to do it, but my counterparts telling us to do it. Which
right.
brings me to something that I really need you to lean into. When you gave the three steps earlier on with regards to networking, you said something extremely important. You said it's not who knows you, but why they know you.
Yes.
I feel I could talk forever on that, but this is not about me. This is
Yeah.
about you. I
Yeah.
want you to tell your classmates. I want you to tell, and when I say classmates, I mean classmates at every HBCU. You are Mr. HBCU after all. Every classmate. How important is it what it is they know you by?
I feel like it's important because there's a room that you're not in. Just with the age we're at, with the development we're going through, there until you get to a certain level, there will be a room that you're not in, and there will be a room that you should strive to get to. And until you get to that room, they're going to continue to talk about the business that's being conducted in that room. And if your name comes up, you want them to know you for the right reasons, because it's very easy for your name to come up. They know you for the wrong reasons, dismissed, on to the next. So you just being cognizant of your personal brand and what you represent as as a person is really vital to the success you can get to in achieving a certain level of network. So
Hunter Waldon, you will be teaching a masterclass soon. I don't know when it's going to be, and I would be honored to sit in the room and
yes,
listen to a number of the things that you have to share. Hunter, I am going to bless you with our rapid fire segment.
okay,
67 seconds are going to go on the clock. I'm going to ask you as many questions as possible, and you're going to give me short or short phrased answers. Are you
okay,
ready?
yes, ma'am.
All right, let's do this. Hunter, hmm. I like this question for Hunter, especially since May is around the corner for you. Your actual college graduation, who do you want as your commencement speaker?
Who do I want as a commencement speaker? Okay. Um, that's a great question. I probably okay. I'm gonna say this for a reason. I'm gonna say Obama,
Obama.
because he was technically the commencement speaker for high school, because I graduated in 2020 in that COVID graduation. So he kind of gave that message to
Mm,
all the 2020 graduates. So it would be cool to see black leadership. Boom.
I hear you. To see it in person. Got it. Okay. Hunter, describe yourself in 3 words.
Persevering, um, humble, and driven.
Driven. Okay. What's the best meal at your HBCU?
Oxtails. Yeah,
What? You guys get oxtails?
yeah. It was a sight for me to see, but I
I'm
saw it.
moving. I am moving to Prairie View A&M University. You guys get oxtails.
Yeah, we do it different in the South. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Shout out your favorite professor and what do they teach?
Oh, I'd say Professor Gordon,
Okay.
Professor Kimberly Gordon, and she teaches a professional development class in the
Okay.
College of Business. Love that woman.
Okay. Okay. Professor Gordon, you're doing a great job. I don't know you, but I know Hunter. You're doing a great job.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm going to take the liberty. I'm going to take the liberty. They told me that our time is up, but I'm going to take the liberty to ask one more question.
Okay.
It's an election year. It's an
Yeah.
election year, Hunter.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you at least one politics question. So I've
Okay.
thrown the Trump Biden question out at a lot of people.
Okay.
It's been interesting hearing the answers. I'm not
Yeah.
going to ask you the same question. I'm not going to ask you the question. Instead, I'm going to ask
Thank you.
you to share with us why do you think it's important that Black students get involved? So, why do you think it's important that Black students get involved in politics and civic engagement? If you think it is, if you think it's not important, tell us that too.
No, I definitely think it's important just because, like how I was mentioning before, there's a room that we're not in. And so it starts with the youth. Like we are the next leaders. So obviously, if our group of leadership, not even saying that they're not in there now, but we're minimized to how many of us are in those rooms. Again, it starts with our youth to make sure that we are cognizant of what we can and can't do. We are cognizant of our rights, and we are cognizant of the power we have as people, and we have every right to get in that room just like everybody else. So again, just making sure that we're staying aware of everything that we're facing and everything that is being presented to us, and that as a collective, as a generation, we're getting in those rooms so that we have a say. Because if you can either have a meal, you can either be eaten or eat.
I'm glad you didn't say you can. My mind went somewhere else, but I'm glad you said we can either be eaten or eat. I hope we're not eating others though. I hope
Right,
we're
right,
just making
right,
sure we have a meal at
right.
the table
Uh,
to eat.
exactly,
Okay, okay.
exactly.
I can be literal sometimes, Hunter. So
Yes,
bear with
ma'am.
me because I
Yes,
can be
ma'am.
literal. I went literal there for a hot second. You heard it from Hunter. It is pertinent that Black youth make sure that they have a voice at the table with regards to politics and civic engagement, because he's not wrong. By age alone, you will be the next leaders, whether anybody likes it or not. So thanks a lot for that. Hunter,
Yes, ma'am.
you did not travel far to go to school. You
No. Mm.
you literally traveled 45 minutes to go to school.
Yes.
So share with me, Hunter. I kind of want to speak to your mom about this. Like, man, why didn't you guys kick him out a little bit farther? But you're from Dallas, not Dallas. You're from Houston. You are going to school at Prairie View and Prairie View A&M University. Still, tell me what? How did you land there when you could have gone anywhere? How did you land there?
So this kind of brings up a fun fact about me. I was a baseball player. And yeah, I was actually recruited to Prairie View. I played baseball here for the first 2 years.
Oh,
Yeah, so I really had to choose between Texas Southern, and Prairie View. And Prairie View offered me first. And coming to a Prairie View homecoming, it was just kind of like the family culture, how family oriented they were. It was unimaginable. And even in relation to the other homecomings I went to, it just really didn't compare. But yes, I played baseball. I came here playing baseball, and I played for my first 2 years. And I'm actually let's keep this on the low because it's just a thought right now.
let's
I
hear it.
may possibly pick baseball back up for my year of grad school, so we'll see.
Oh, that would be nice. That'll be nice. That'll be nice. I support a lot of things. Sports is my top three. I think sports adds something to our lives, if you ask me. So good on you. I did not know that Prairie View A&M University had a baseball team. And speaking of not knowing about Prairie View A&M University having a baseball team, I am observing across the country more and more HBCUs having, I'm going to say, unlikely sports teams on our
Mm-hmm.
campuses. I'm noticing figure skating at Howard University, golf at, I don't want to get it wrong, but it's definitely one of the North Carolina HBCUs. And
Yeah.
I'm just seeing more and more of unlikely, I'm just going to call it unlikely sports teams popping up at our different HBCUs, which is beautiful.
Right. I believe the other day I just saw that I believe it was Fisk University. They have a gymnastics team, which is the first in HBCUs, and they had somebody compete nationally for the first time as an HBCU. So yeah,
I
that as
love it.
well.
I,
So
I, I absolutely love it. I love it. If you, I wasn't gonna go there, but I'm going to go there. If you give Black people, if you give us just a window, we're going to excel at pretty much anything we decide to put our hands on. So I'm loving seeing all of these new
yeah.
teams at these different universities. For those who don't know Prairie View A&M University well, Hunter, what does Prairie View get right? What does your university get right?
Well, I mean, our motto as a university is excellence lives here. And I feel like we embody that from several different aspects. From our engineering, we have the top engineering school in Texas. To nursing, we have one of the top nursing schools in the nation. To our business school, we have a top 10 business school in the nation. Like we not only does excellence live here, but we also have a saying that Prairie View produces productive Panthers. And I feel like just going through the daily activities that partake on this campus, it shows you that. And again, I know I keep using this word, but it embodies that. Just because there's so much adversity that you're faced with, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in a student organization you're in, or being a leader trying to advocate for your student body, going back and forth from administration, just working with people, having to deal with different teams, just fitting in while standing out. Just there's just so much. I'll result back to saying that excellence indeed does live here, and Prairie View through the different colleges sets you up for success to succeed in life, honestly.
You're not wrong. I happen to be known, one of the hats that I have worn in the past is to be either an advisor or a coach for different competitive academic teams. And every single time we have run into a Prairie View A&M University team, they have always been very, very stiff competition. And that is a kudos to the entire university and all the things that they get right. That is a definition of excellence. So you're not wrong by all the things you said, and you said it with such passion that I dare anybody to disagree with you. It would be their loss. For
Yes,
all the
man.
things that Prairie View gets right, what is one thing you wish they could do better?
One thing I wish they could do better is really just be able to provide a sense of support, acknowledgement, recognition, and celebratory acts for our student body. I feel like when I say excellence lives here, I mean that from just the different things that go on campus to the achievements that we're actually achieving on this campus. Like me being the first Mr. Prairie View to ever win Mr. HBCU. We had an opera singer who not only went to a Broadway competition for the first time, but she won it. And it was the first time any HBCU had ever won that competition. To just again, just the monumental achievements that are happening on our campus. I feel like as a university, we can do just a better job of just showing like celebratory acts, making our students feel like not only are they seen, not only they are appreciated, but they are celebrated. So
I like that. I really appreciate that. So typically when I ask this question, most people dive into structure, most people dive into process.
yes, that would be a very long conversation because yeah, we definitely. But I will say, I feel like the main reason why I didn't dive into that because I literally had a conversation with my president not too long ago, and she was saying how because we just got a new president last year, she hasn't even been inaugurated yet. So one of the main things she was saying was she was observing the structure of Prairie View right now, and that there's a restructuring that needs to happen. So yeah, the main reason why I didn't really mention that is because I feel like it's happening. But more in relation to what I did mention, I feel like a blind eye is kind of batted to it. So that's why I wanted to bring more awareness to it.
So listen, I wasn't trying to get you to talk about the structure and the processes and the glitches that go on here and there. That's not what I was trying to do. I was simply saying that typically when I ask that question, that's what I get. I actually enjoyed you not giving that as a response. I enjoyed you saying there's excellence going on. Can we amplify, can more of the world know about this excellence that we have going on? And that could be a role that the university plays in making sure that these beautiful things that the students are doing, I'm going to guess that even the faculty and administration are doing at Prairie View A&M University, that they get spotlight, they get amplified a whole lot more than is currently happening. So I actually do appreciate that that's the angle that you chose with regards to what Prairie View could be doing a little bit better. I wasn't trying to get you to go to the other place. That's listen. And like you said, if you get to have one-on-one conversations with the president because of your role, which is beautiful, and if you've already had the conversations, and we all know these things take time, we all know that when you're restructuring and you've got a vision and a goal ahead, it's going to take a little bit of work, a lot of bit of work, not a little, a lot of work and a little bit of time before you can actually start seeing those changes. So why don't we give it a moment, right? And actually see it in action first before we start talking about it. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Um, I was about to ask you how are you upholding the love of your HBCU, but it's clear in talking to you, Hunter, how much you love Prairie View A&M and how
Yeah.
much you think you have been that it has positively impacted you. Is that accurate? I feel somebody who feels positively impacted by
Yes.
his university.
Yes, I've given a lot to this university, and even knowing that my grandparents walked these same halls, and really that had nothing to do with my decision on even coming here. I really didn't even find out that they came here until after I got here. But just knowing that I'm continuing a legacy and how deeply rooted Prairie View has been in my family, I've just felt obligated to do my part and try to put Prairie View on the map because seeing how modernized some of our buildings are and how much development is going on this campus. Really, all HBCUs in the entirety need more love, but I could really tell coming to Prairie View how undervalued it was,
Hmm.
but also how prestigious it was, and how desperately it needed to get more recognition, and I've done really anything and everything that I can to try to get that from my university. So
I love it. I love it. I'm hoping you are our first Prairie View A&M University student, and we have not had an alum from Prairie View on the podcast yet. But I've spoken to several Prairie View alum over the years, and the manner in which you speak is the manner in which I've heard them talk about a pride, but a pride that they wish more people could know about and see, because of the products that come from Prairie View. So this is my call out. Hunter is the first one, but this is my call out. I would love to have a Prairie View alum on the podcast to talk about the love that they also have for Prairie View A&M University. Um, you are a gentleman that I think could do literally anything that he puts his mind to. You are likely going to be working with Deloitte in a few years. You may actually go semi-pro baseball for all we know in a couple of years. We don't know what your path is going to be,
Right.
but if you I know hindsight is 2020, so I'm going to ask you a hindsight question first before I ask you to look forward over the next 5 years. What would you, Hunter, want to tell your freshman self today?
Whew. I would tell my freshman self, don't be afraid of rejection and have the right perception on failure. I feel like it's so easy to mesh rejection and failure, and that's not always what it is. Like when we deal with rejection, it's like, oh, I'm a failure. I didn't succeed in what I wanted to get, where I wanted to get in my head. Like, I'm just a failure. I just failed. And it's like, no, that's not necessarily what it is. So I also understand that a lot of us have a plan in life and try to live life with a plan, but at the end of the day, life don't go as planned. And I think that's why it's so vital to not to have the proper perception on failure and on rejection, because just because you're told to wait doesn't mean you're told it's not coming. um, and I know a lot of us are commonly told to wait in different predicaments, and it's like, no, like everything I planned out, I have to get this now. But just being the spiritual person that I am, I'm adamant. I'm one who's adamant, a firm believer in God, and God's timing is the best timing. And he may not come when it's convenient for you, but he's always right on time. So yeah, again, to reiterate, the main thing that I tell my freshman self is do your best to gain the right perception on failure, and don't be afraid of rejection, because it's just gonna come in life. The more you run from it, the more it's gonna chase you.
So, Hunter, I've said twice now that you're going to have a master class, right?
Yes, man.
I'm going to say it a third time. You're going to have a master class someday. You gave this advice to your freshman self, and I am totally not ashamed to say that it's advice I will take from you and remind myself of every single day. And the phrase you said that hit home is don't mesh rejection with failure. And sometimes it is easy to say, it is harder to live every single day. So that's why I'm letting you know with absolute humility. I'm like, he was saying that to his freshman self. I'm going to take that and remind myself of that every single day because it's true. Rejection isn't failure. But I need, maybe not just me, but let me speak for Tosin in this moment. I need to remind myself of that every single day. So you can tell that when your master class comes out, I'll be the first one in line for your master class. I look forward to it. Absolutely. So I asked you to look back. I'm going to ask you to look forward. Yes, we know Deloitte is in the picture. Yes, we know great things are in your future. However, if you could write the script in 5 or 10 years, pick whichever one. Where do you see Hunter Waldon?
um, Hopefully, in 5 to 10 years, it's like knowing how spontaneous and sporadic my life is, of course, I can say my plan, but again, reiterating that life don't go as planned, I really don't know. I honestly don't know. I can imagine that I'll be working at an accounting firm. I can imagine that I'll have my own real estate business, whether that's with just rental properties or Airbnbs. But most importantly, I see myself in 5 to 10 years being at a point in my life where I can give back to my community, not only from a knowledge perspective, but from a financial perspective as well, and from an event throwing perspective. Just making sure that I am developing the leaders to come after me to lead better than me, and making sure that I'm having a impact on my community so that long after I'm gone, my legacy is left. So
In 5 to 10 years, I wish you nothing but joy. I wish you nothing but peace. And I wish you nothing but contentment with the plan that you've literally just laid out, because you couldn't have said it better than me. You can plan, but only God knows exactly where your plans are going to go. I wish you contentment wherever it is you land your feet in 5 to 10 years. And you would have had a masterclass or two, and I would have celebrated you for it. All right.
yes.
He's like, you're really pushing this masterclass for me. Yes,
Nah,
I
look,
am.
we gotta co-host it.
Yes, we will. We will. Absolutely. Hunter, is there something you've got a lot of exciting things going on, and I know we've covered quite a lot, but is there something I should have asked you? Is there something that I you would have loved to share that I did not bring up, that you'd love to bless our audience with before we say goodbye?
Um, I feel like I really covered everything. The main message that I'll probably end off with is for everyone that's watching, always remember that no one can believe in you until you believe in yourself. And it starts internally. It starts with you truly knowing who you are as a person, and if you don't, you finding who you are as a person, and you doing anything and everything you can to just be the best version of yourself, and to pour into what you love most, because we're all here for a reason. We all have a purpose. Some of us have found our purpose. Some of us are still finding our purpose. But just making sure that we all get to a point where we fulfill that purpose is what matters most. And I feel like that's the best message that I could get across in closing. So
Someone is receiving, to use a baseball term, catching what you are giving, and I sincerely appreciate it, and I am part of someone catching and receiving the messages that you are giving. Hunter, in one parting word or short phrase, why do you love HBCUs?
because it's my people.
It's my people.
How can you not love your people?
How can you not love your people?
Yeah.
Hunter Waldon, it took us a while to get here.
Yes, ma'am.
However, I have enjoyed every second of this conversation. I am grateful to you. I am grateful to Prairie View A&M University and the community of people that have poured into you. You are a brilliant young man, and I appreciate the conversation that we've had. I hope everyone joining, everyone that tuned in to listen and to watch this episode of I Love My HBCU ? How could you not like this episode, thanks to Hunter Waldon being on it? And I hope that I have earned the pleasure of you subscribing to I Love My HBCU ? Hunter, thank you. Yours in HBCU love. See you next episode. You've been listening to I Love My HBCU ? Let's keep the conversation going as we share our stories and encourage more practical support of HBCUs, whilst of course holding each other accountable. Don't forget to follow and subscribe for the latest episodes.
Until next time, love and lift your HBCU.